So are the Red Wings better this year? They have to be, right? Do they have to be?
They do. The big shame for them, like the Red Wings are in this funny territory where they're definitely taking a step, but they need all hands on deck to really take a step. You're going to miss, at current standing, you're going to miss 9 games of Tyler Bertuzzi, which is a shame because he's a player who didn't play for them a ton after being an all-star with injury and everything. So they're going to really lean on him, and he can't be there all the time, not because of injury, but because he won't get the vaccine. So that's frustrating. Jakub Vrana was such a great story for them last year. Really made the Capitals look like idiots. And now he's gone for months at a time. So that's going to be a big problem for them. But they got goaltending with Nedeljkovic. Goaltending for now and the future. You hope that it wasn't just a flash in the pan. And some of the kids are going to play. And that is, now you don't have to watch Grand Rapids. You can watch the actual Red Wings fans.
Here's what I like about the goalie situation, and I think we have to start with this because I think it's the most positive. First off, it always feels good when you rob a team. I feel like this could be a highway robbery. I think everybody knows that.
How bad would Nedeljkovic have to be for it to not be that?
Well, and it's a $3 million deal for 2 years. Like, who cares, right? It's nothing. It's no skin off your back if it doesn't work out. And if it doesn't work out, which, again, why wouldn't it? Could be crazy. Thomas Greiss is there. You know, and he's come off some pretty successful seasons himself, and he's a good backup. And here's the thing. Nedeljkovic is the goalie of the future. You know Greiss can give you 30 to 40 games. So there's a platoon, right? But you know Greiss is also not going to be like, no, young man, I'm not ready to step aside. He's not that kind of a goalie, right?
No.
There are certain goalies where it's like, you know, as players get older, their ego can take a hit when a younger player steps in and is better.
Greiss he plays the role, and it's one of the hardest ones in the NHL. Guys who are backups for a long time. Like, usually you're the backup because you're not the number one. Yes. You know what I mean? Which means you're not that good, which means you're not going to be in the league that long. He's been a career backup and been damn good at it for a really long time. The Red Wings, by the way, 20th in the NHL in goals against last year, which doesn't sound very good, but it's, I'd say, on the lower end of middle of the pack. If they can get a few more saves in there, all they got to do is figure out how to bloody score. Yeah. And that's what the kids are for.
Right. Now, you know, the Wings do still have some terrible contracts left over from the disastrous last years of the Holland administration. See Danny DeKeyser. But, you know, it's starting to look kind of like it's being cleaned up. And there was a lot of stripping back to do. I have a question about some of the young guys that are going to score here.
Okay.
Is this Philip Zadina's chance to finally have a coming out party?
It's so
like, when
many
is this
players.
going to happen?
It's Zadina. It's Velino. Could be Hirose. Could be, who else is joining the team? I'm trying to think. I know this. Oh, you know who
Rasmussen?
led? Okay, this is how inept they were at scoring.
Okay.
Their leading point getter last year had 2 goals.
Yes.
I'm not making that up. Philip Hronik had 2 goals, 24 assists for 26 points. That led the Red Wings.
That's funny.
Less than half a point a game.
All right.
Ooh.
Led the Red Wings. I have a hard time believing.
I think you're going to end the sentence there. I have a hard time believing.
I have a hard time believing. No, like, okay, this is going to be an 82-game season.
Yep.
There's no chance nobody on the Red Wings gets no one scores. Someone's going to score for 41 friggin' points.
Yeah. Dylan Larkin,
I don't know English.
He'll probably luck into 41 points.
And he will probably
Larkin
be center number 2 on the U.S. Olympic team if Jack Eichel's not there, right?
And by the way, why wasn't it Dylan Larkin? Why didn't injuries? The Red Wings were one of the worst teams in the league last year in terms of getting injuries to all the worst players. And it reminds me of, I think it was Lou Lamoriello's first year with the Leafs, where they finished last, where they shut everyone down.
JVR was out like in February.
Did you stub your toe? You're done for the season. Everyone's down. Good bet for the Red Wings to take a jump.
I've been sitting patiently because you mentioned the kids. I've just been sitting here all day wanting to talk about two guys.
Who?
Moritz Seider
Oh, yeah.
and Lucas Raymond.
Lucas Raymond, how did I forget?
First of all,
Really
Seider, the Swedish Hockey League's Defenseman of the Year last year. They're bringing him in. He's in line to be the next line of great Detroit defensemen. That's where he's projected to go at this point. And I know Yzerman is going to protect him because he wants to be Lidstrom and Chelios and Moritz Seider. Like it's beautiful the potential that this team sees in this kid. And then Lucas Raymond has been absolutely tearing it up during the preseason. And the thing that everybody keeps writing about his game, I was reading Max Baltman in The Athletic was writing about it. His expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5 is at 64.7%. He's the third leading scorer in 5-on-5 shot share. He's had an unbelievable preseason, and everybody keeps saying his game is really mature. He's 19 years old, and he plays like a mature player. It's unbelievable to see, but he shouldn't be on the team. Bobby Ryan should take he's fighting for like the last spot.
He is on PTO.
And Bobby Ryan should probably have that spot. And I know that Blashill and Yzerman will protect him because he's the future. Those two guys are the future of this team. But his shot in particular, last night he had an unbelievable top corner. It was right over the blocker side. It's baby Austin Matthews.
Whoa.
It's absurd. The fucking stick flex on this kid at 19 is baby. He's the birth child of the next generation of great shooters in this league. And Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider are the future of the NHL.
He can simply do things that you can't.
With no space. That's the thing that Matthews always does in the middle of the slot there with no space, the quick release. Lucas Raymond has that at 19 as well.
He could do things you can't do, and teams with players who can do things that you can't do don't finish 30th. Don't finish second last in the entire league in scoring. No, they finished second last in the league in scoring. That was for a variety of reasons. Most of it was injury. But now they're adding the kids. They're going to get some guys back healthy. I don't know. I think we're about to see a pretty exciting to watch at the very least Red
when
Wings
you
team.
list the top three Red Wings, like their top three players, you probably go Larkin, Vrana, and Bertuzzi. That might be the worst top three out of any team in the league.
But Lucas Raymond has that potential.
Yes, to hop in there.
Moritz Seider potentially has that potential.
But right now, looking at the top end of their lineup, you're like, this is a bottom-feeding team.
So let's talk about some of the other things that could happen at the end of this season, or I guess during these seasons. So Robbie Fabry is due to become a UFA.
I was just going to say, we didn't mention Robbie Fabry.
25 years old, he's going to be a UFA.
That's a good player.
Nemesnikov, going to be a UFA. There's a guy I put that on the trade bait board right now for the trade deadline. If you need third-line scoring and a guy who's been on every NHL team ever,
right?
Vlad Nemesnikov is your man. But I'm looking more at the defense. But if you want to say more on Vlad,
I was going to say, yeah, Vlad, you probably put on the trade board. Fabry, though,
you want to sign him?
Well, yeah, it's great because I think if you trade him, you probably get more than you paid for him, and if you want to keep him, which you probably should, do it.
Yeah. And you got the cap space to do it. Now, here's what we got. UFA defenseman after this year for the Detroit Red Wings. Letty, DeKaiser, Stahl, Stetcher.
Oh, man, I forgot about Letty.
Yzerman set the team up awesomely to build on it next offseason with a ton of free cap space.
Now, I'm wondering, and you're right about that, but I'm wondering, they brought in Mark Stahl so they could have warm body guy who can lead, right? And Mark Stahl's game has fallen off significantly from his peak, but he's still an NHL player, right? Nick Letty, for me, is an interesting one because he is 30 years old, does not fit into what you would think the Detroit Red Wings want to do in the future. But I still wonder is that a trade bait guy, or is that a guy you go, you know what? I need somebody who's a capable front-of-the-line NHL defenseman, while these guys who you've just spent 2.5 minutes talking about.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is if you're bringing in these young defensemen, what did we just talk about with Buffalo and Rasmus Dahlin? If you are thrown to the wolves, they will eat you alive in this league. And a guy like Nick Letty, I think, man, even Troy Stetcher as a third-line guy, if he's at 1.5, 1.7, 2, and he's your 5'6" or your 6'7", you don't hate that.
Even if he's lost a step, he used to be one of the best skaters in the league. I think Letty is a guy who could be energized by a young team and fit a really young team. The Islanders, I just don't know, and they developed so well, and he got pushed down the lineup. If the Red Wings are a good fit for him, it's good for everybody.
Bingo. Let's do our projections. Jesse Blake.
Second last in the division, 7th place.
This is rare, but I talked myself into putting them 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I erased it in the middle of the show.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, I'm just having a look here. I think second last place have to be, but we'll see.